Welcome to Digitization at Siemens. Do you remember the story about the green telephone? Jens Müffelmann put it out this morning. Actually, this was the sad story about disrupting the Siemens telecommunication business and finally putting it out of business. So there is no Siemens telecommunication business anymore. So we learned it as a corporation the hard way, what it means to be in a disruption. And there is a strong dedication that we will not let that happen again. And this is why I'm here today. This is why I want to talk about what innovation and not in particular startups and innovation by startups mean for Siemens. So Siemens has some 70 billion huge business, and digitization and software has already changed that business strongly. So just some examples: X-ray imaging, the good old film-based analog X-rays, they are long gone. We are in the digital imaging arena where we have 3D models of the heart and the brain. We have in the power generation business the large-scale coal mine power plants. They are kind of gone, or are at least in the transition. We are now in more decentralized, smart grid-enabled power generation systems. And in the industrial arena, in former times, all the configuration had been done manually on site. And meanwhile, this has been replaced a lot by virtual commissioning and basically being able to use software. So what all that means, and these are just some examples, it means that the Siemens business is getting more and more data and innovation driven. So looking at the installed base, there are some 280,000 components out there in the field. These are MRI scanners, these are trains, these are drives for industrial applications, these are certainly power plants and so forth. And all those data systems are equipped with huge amounts of sensors, and they're generating data. Some 16 terabytes of data a month currently, and those rate is increasing exponentially. And what does it mean? It means that there's a huge amount of data, but data is not information. So there has to be made sense out of it. So there is a need to understand what exactly is in those data. What does it mean if I have those 3D models of the brain? What does it tell the physician in terms of doing a surgical operation on the brain or do some other treatments? Or for example, the smart grids, huge amount of different decentralized systems. What does it mean to have all those operational data to make the system more efficient, more reliable, and more able to compensate for power outages and so forth? And certainly for the industrial applications, being it drives in the power, in pulp and paper applications, or being it wind farms, what does it mean to use those data to make meaning out of that and then to make a business out of it? Because data without basically transferred into something we can earn money with and basically provide value to our customers, they are not really of use. So basically, this is the game, this conversion of the physical world and the virtual world and making something out of this huge amount of data which are being generated. And this means that a corporation like Siemens needs to change the way Siemens is innovating. The speed has increased, and the speed has increased, and therefore there is the need to do things differently. So, for example, it is not possible anymore to predict markets or so. It's rather experimenting than predicting markets. There have to be ecosystems being built to make sure that we leverage on the innovation of other partners like startups. For example, Siemens is providing to utilities a very efficient platform for utilities to connect to energy meters in households. So there are platforms out there which have hundreds of thousands of energy meters connected. And a huge amount of data is being generated out of those households. And there's a huge opportunity to do something with those data, to analyze the usage patterns of the households and to create value from that. We cannot do that all on our own, but we provide others and startups to do that on those APIs. So digital transformation for the industrial enterprise basically means that there are key components, we think, at Siemens, which are of in particular importance for changing the industrial world. It's certainly the Internet of Things. There will be very soon many more things connected to the Internet, that there are people on the planet. Cloud technology is pretty clear, but 3D printing, it's definitely a new technology which will change a lot. It will change service processes. It will change how we look at manufacturing at lot size 1. It will change a lot of ways to do things more efficient. Knowledge automation, advanced robotics, just to mention a few. Advanced robotics also means having robots collaborating with human beings, being in the factory, being somewhere else. There's a huge field to be explored to make use out of that, to become more digital and to become more efficient and create more value to the customer. And digitization in our business basically means that this will affect everything. This will affect every single step in the value chain. This will affect all the different businesses, and this will affect our customers as well as our company. So we are transforming on one hand ourselves, and on the other hand, we're helping our customers to transform. So there were. What we do actually in terms of the innovation with startups, that we work together with startups in 3 ways. We are investing in startups as a corporation, we are partnering with startups, and we are founding startups. So investing via Siemens Venture Capital, there have been some 800 million investments being done by Siemens Venture Capital in startups. And there's all kinds of startups across the different industries Siemens is active in, and certainly across the globe. So for example, there are startups like ThinkStep, analysis on sustainability topics, Building IQ, Sternico, which is maintenance for rolling stock, and others. And we are partnering with startups. And partnering with startups basically means, on one hand, certainly the investment is one thing we can provide startups with. But on the other hand, partnering with startups also means giving startups access to Siemens customers, to Siemens technology, and helping them to gain market traction faster than they could gain on their own. For example, Ayasti is one company we are partnering with, and there are many others. But there are as well the opportunity to found companies on our own. So there's certainly the fact that we see things which Siemens should do, and we think Siemens should try out in terms of a startup to see whether this business might be interesting for Siemens. So we do this as well. We found companies like Caterva or Ubimake. Caterva is a company which is based in Munich, actually, on a battery systems in households and industrial buildings to connect them in order to build kind of a huge swarm of batteries to stabilize the grid. So for us, it's important that we cannot do innovation on our own anymore because the world is fast changing and there are too many opportunities out there. For us, the digitization is a huge opportunity. It is not a threat, it's an opportunity because we can do much more things, but we cannot do them on our own. We want to leverage together with partners, together with startups in particular, on innovative topics, innovative ideas. And this is the reason why I'm here today. And this is why I think this conference is very exciting, because it's an exclusive and highly interesting opportunity to connect the dots. Thank you very much.